leading the pack, that's P1. And we're in front of Sainz, Alonso and Hamilton. The fastest lap at this point in time is a 1:10.0. We don't currently have the data for that request. Okay, so as for the cars around us, just ahead are Norris and Sainz. And just behind us are Russell, Perez and Hamilton. Currently the fastest lap is a 1:19.4. Sorry, we can't provide you with that information right now. Here are the top 5 cars as things stand. Sainz, Russell, Verstappen, Leclerc and Hamilton. The fastest lap at this point in time is a 1:19.6. We don't currently have the data for that request. Currently the fastest lap is a 1:19.6. We don't have the data for that, I'm afraid. Excellent lap. We're all very, very pleased with that one. Nice work. Come on, I'll see you back in the pits.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who'll be fronting the grid. Daniel, Sainz and George Russell. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix. Forget pit stops, forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Daniel lines up on pole position, and the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Verstappen, Leclerc, Hamilton, Perez, Norris, Albon, Gasly, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, Ricardo, Ocon, Stroll, Magnussen, Joe, Bottas, Hulkenberg and Logan Sargent. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out.
Okay, so our system checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of this lap.
And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. This result then narrows the gap between our championship leader and the rest of the standings. Well, that wraps up the sprint. All that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then. Formula One returns to Interlagos once again with the stage set for what promises to be another classic Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel famously clinched his third championship here in 2012, and just 4 years later, Max Verstappen treated us to one of the finest wet weather drives of all time. We're racing today then at Interlagos, a historic 2.7-mile circuit and one of the few anti-clockwise tracks on the calendar. 15 corners in total, 9 to the left and 6 to the right, with a technical middle section opening up to a flat-out Sector 3. That gives us our best passing opportunity down into Turn 1. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Daniel, Fernando Alonso, Hamilton, Gasly, Albon, Ocon, Oscar Piastri, Joe, Bottas, Hulkenberg, Sargent, Stroll, Norris, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Sainz, Perez, and Max Verstappen completes the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Joining me for the Grand Prix once again is none other than Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Daniel. They've been involved in a number of costly incidents lately. That's got to affect their mindset going into this race.
It's not an ideal situation by any means. When you get into a bad run like that, there's always a risk of frustration creeping in, which can cause more mistakes and locks you into this vicious cycle. Hopefully today they can get through Turn 1 cleanly and stay calm for the rest of the race.
Clutch bright is good, gearbox is responding normally. Make sure to warm up the tyres and brakes. Warm the tyres and brakes throughout the lap, please. Battery charge is high, let's use that overtake button a bit more. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 9.0 seconds. Great manoeuvre, he made it look so easy. In this lap, push now. Right, let's not stay behind this car for too long, we need to get past. Daniel's in the pits. Up to speed now, let's get some heat into those tyres. That's P2. You're up to P2. Well done. Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. You're increasing the gap on the car behind by 5/10 a lap. Okay, safety car deployed, safety car's been deployed. Watch your delta, make sure you keep it positive as we catch the pack. Okay, watch your pace. We've informed the safety car is out. There appears to have been an issue with multiple stock vehicles on the track. Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately. Okay, we can take you this lap. Okay, let's go now, come on. Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. P6, you got P6. That's Gasly ahead. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. That's Albon behind you. Okay, push, push. Gap to the car behind. 22.7 seconds. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Okay, so gap to the leader is 9.4 seconds. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. All right, 6 laps to go now. Green flag. Brilliant, nice move, keep going. Okay, you sat in P2. Leclerc ahead, less than a second separates you. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Russell behind. Okay, the gap is less than a second. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. Okay, that's us with 5 laps of fuel remaining. 5 laps of fuel left. Okay, this is your final lap of the race. Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps.
congratulate all weekend to everyone back in the factory, on the pit wall. You've been amazing.
Oh, superb driving. That is the race win, my friend. Well done.
We've witnessed some great battles around the historic curves of Interlagos today, and they've taken a fantastic win. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
And it's time now for the podium celebrations. And how well deserved is this one? This is a team all about giving talented young drivers an opportunity to race and to win. AlphaTauri are your winners here today. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Well, that lead at the top has somewhat shrunk today. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Daniel.
Let's move on to the constructors. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Brazil has produced